In the eerie, moonlit town of Miles County, where shadows danced and secrets whispered in the wind, a palpable sense of foreboding had settled over its cobblestone streets. The night was unusually silent, as if the very air held its breath in anticipation of the horror that was to come. It was here, amidst the ancient buildings that wore their age-like badges of honor, that the unthinkable had occurred. Art the clown, the malevolent harlequin of nightmares, had returned, his twisted grin more sinister than ever before. Jenna, a young woman with eyes that mirrored the stormy skies of her troubled past, found herself inexplicably drawn to the heart of this darkness. It was as if fate itself had woven her into the macabre tapestry of Miles County's latest chapter of terror. As night descended like a velvet curtain, Jenna and her friends, a group bound by curiosity and youthful invincibility, stumbled upon Art's macabre carnival. It stood at the edge of town, a grotesque spectacle that seemed to exist outside the realm of reality, its lights flickering like the heartbeat of some monstrous creature. The air was thick with the scent of cotton candy and popcorn, a sickly sweet veil that did little to mask the underlying odor of decay. Curiosity and trepidation mingled within Jenna and her friends as they ventured deeper into the shadowy depths of the carnival grounds. The laughter and chatter of the crowd seemed distant, disconnected from the reality they were stepping into. Amidst the grotesque exhibits and haunting melodies of a calliope, Jenna felt an inexplicable connection to Art. His piercing gaze, visible even from a distance, seemed to penetrate her very soul, stirring a primal fear deep within her. As the night wore on, the carnival transformed. What began as a spectacle of wonder gradually revealed its true nature, a stage set for Art's gruesome performance. Jenna and her friends, caught in the web of Art's design, found themselves trapped in a labyrinth of horror. The clown's twisted visage was everywhere, watching, waiting. The once lively carnival games turned sinister, the prizes twisted caricatures of human despair. The laughter of the crowd morphed into an eerie soundtrack to their nightmare, as one by one, Jenna's friends fell prey to Art's relentless wrath. The screams of the lost echoed through the night, swallowed by the suffocating darkness that seemed to consume everything in its path. Jenna, driven by a desperation she had never known, found herself increasingly isolated. The once familiar faces of her friends had disappeared, leaving behind a haunting void. Art, his grotesque mask and blood-stained costume becoming symbols of pure terror, toyed with her like a cat with a mouse. His laughter, a discordant melody that echoed through the night, reveled in her terror. Cornered and alone, Jenna's mind raced for a solution, a way to escape the nightmare that had ensnared her. It was then that she remembered an old wives' tale, a superstition from her childhood that spoke of the power of reflection to reveal and banish true monstrosity. With trembling hands, she seized a shard of glass, its surface reflecting the twisted chaos around her. As Art advanced, his sinister grin widening, Jenna held up the shard, forcing the clown to confront his own demonic reflection. To her astonishment and Art's agony, the reflection writhed, his face contorting into a mask of pain. Empowered by this unexpected weapon, Jenna shattered the glass, sending shards of light piercing through the darkness, targeting Art's grotesque features. A scream, inhuman and filled with centuries of malice, tore through the night as Art's monstrous form began to dissolve, consumed by the very darkness he had wielded. As the chaotic symphony of Art's dissolution echoed through the abandoned carnival grounds, Jenna found herself standing amidst the ruins of a nightmare. The haunting melodies had ceased, and the grotesque exhibits crumbled into dust, as if the very essence of the carnival was tied to the malevolent entity that had presided over it. Battered, her clothes torn and stained with the night's ordeals, Jenna stumbled through the desolation, each step away from the heart of darkness a testament to her resilience. The dawn was not far off, its first light a herald of salvation for the tormented town of Miles County. Yet, as Jenna emerged from the carnival grounds, The weight of her experiences hung heavily upon her. She had faced unspeakable horrors, witnessed the loss of friends, and stared into the abyss of her own fears. The physical scars would heal, but the psychological wounds etched into her soul were a different matter altogether. Miles County, too, bore the scars of the night's terror. As the sun rose, casting a warm yet somber glow over the shattered remnants of the carnival, it illuminated a town forever changed. Whispered conversations filled the air, a mix of relief and mourning. Jenna, once an ordinary young woman, had become a symbol of something far greater, a beacon of hope and a reminder of the indomitable human spirit. But the victory was tinged with unease. The legend of Art the Clown, a tale soaked in blood and darkness, had not been extinguished. Rumors whispered in the corners of the town suggested that the malevolence that had driven him was not something that could be so easily destroyed. It was said that Art was more than just a man or a clown. He was a manifestation of primal fear, a dark reflection of the horrors that lurk in the depths of the human psyche. Jenna found herself at the center of these whispers, her actions on that fateful night elevating her to the status of legend alongside Art. Some viewed her as a hero, others as a reminder of the fragility of peace and safety. The duality of her existence became a source of both strength and isolation, as she struggled to reconcile her newfound status with her desire for normalcy. The weeks following the carnival's downfall saw Jenna grappling with her trauma. Sleep was elusive, each night a journey through a landscape haunted by memories and shadows of the past. Yet, within this crucible of suffering, Jenna's resolve hardened. She understood that the battle against the darkness was not over, it had merely changed form. Determined to confront the legacy of Art the Clown and the deeper terror he represented, Jenna began to delve into the history of Miles County and the origins of the malevolent Harlequin. Her journey was one of discovery, not just of the external forces that had shaped the town's darkest chapters, but also of the internal strength required to face them. As the seasons changed, so too did Jenna. She became a guardian of sorts, a watchful presence that sought to ensure the safety of Miles County. Her experiences had taught her that monsters were not just the stuff of nightmares, but could be confronted and overcome. Yet, the shadow of Art the Clown lingered, a chilling reminder that true terror never truly dies. It waits, patient and cunning, for the moment to emerge once again. Jenna knew this, and as she walked the streets of Miles County, her eyes held a steely determination. For in the heart of darkness, she had found not just the means to fight, but the reason to live, defiance in the face of fear, and the courage to stand against the night. The legend of Art the Clown and Jenna, the woman who had faced him and survived, became a tale whispered in the wind, a story of terror and triumph that would echo through the generations. In the eerie, moonlit town of Miles County, where shadows dance and secrets whisper, the battle between light and darkness continues, an eternal struggle woven into the very fabric of its history. And so, the story of Jenna and Art the Clown, a saga of horror and heroism, remains a haunting reminder of the resilience of the human spirit, even in the face of the unimaginable. The cycle of light and shadow in Miles County had found its equilibrium, yet the peace that enveloped the town was one of cautious anticipation. Jenna's story had woven itself into the fabric of the community, a narrative thread that bound the townspeople together with a common understanding: the darkness that had once consumed them could return. Jenna, now a figure of quiet strength, walked the boundary between legend and reality. Her days were spent in efforts to fortify the town's spirit and resilience. Workshops on courage, community meetings infused with tales of perseverance, and gatherings that celebrated survival became her means of combating the lingering dread. Yet, in the stillness of the night, when the world around her slept, Jenna found herself wrestling with the specters of her past encounters. The unease was not hers alone to bear. Whispers of Art the Clown's return were stoked by unexplained occurrences, shadows that moved against the logic of light, laughter that echoed with no discernible source, and a palpable tension that seemed to grip the town at the edge of darkness. It was as if the very atmosphere of Miles County had been imbued with a watchful presence, a reminder of the thin veil that separated normalcy from nightmare. Jenna's resolve, however, remained unshaken. The ordeal had transformed her into a guardian of sorts, not just of the physical town, but of its soul. Her research into the origins of Art the Clown had uncovered a tapestry of history steeped in the occult, tales of ancient rituals, and a lineage of darkness that traced back to the very foundation of Miles County. It became clear that Art was not an aberration but a manifestation of the town's darkest legacy. Armed with this knowledge, Jenna embarked on a mission to confront the roots of this malevolence. Her journey led her to the old Miles family estate, a decrepit manor that loomed on the outskirts of town, its walls echoing with secrets long forgotten. The estate, once the jewel of Miles County, had fallen into disrepair, a physical manifestation of the corruption that lay at its heart. It was here, amid the decay and shadow, that Jenna confronted the essence of the darkness. The manor, infused with the energy of countless untold horrors, stood as a gateway between worlds, a conduit for the malevolent forces that had shaped the town's fate. Jenna's presence within its walls was a challenge to the very heart of the darkness, a declaration that its reign of terror would be contested. The confrontation was not physical but metaphysical, a battle of wills fought in the domain of the spirit. Jenna, guided by the light of her indomitable spirit, challenged the darkness at its source. The night was filled with the clash of unseen forces, a tempest of energy that raged within the silent halls of the manor. As dawn broke, the estate emerged transformed. The oppressive air that had shrouded the manor lifted, revealing a structure that, while still bearing the scars of its past, stood as a testament to the battle that had taken place. Jenna emerged from the manor, weary but victorious. The darkness that had once threatened to consume Miles County had been pushed back, its grip on the town weakened. The victory, however, was not absolute. Jenna knew that the darkness was not destroyed but merely contained. The battle had shifted the balance, offering hope where there had been despair. But the threat of Art the Clown's return remained, a shadow on the horizon of Miles County's future. Jenna's story, and the legend of Art the Clown, became a part of Miles County's identity, a narrative that shaped its present and would guide its future. The town had learned that darkness could be confronted, that fear could be met with courage, and that even in the most ordinary of places, heroes can emerge. As Miles County moved forward, the tale of Jenna and Art the Clown served as a chilling reminder and a beacon of hope. For in the heart of darkness, there is light, and in the face of terror, the human spirit can prevail. The legend lived on, a story of terror and triumph, echoing through the streets of Miles County, whispering to those who would listen that even in the deepest night, there is always the promise of dawn. As the seasons turned and the years unfolded, Miles County slowly transformed from a town shadowed by fear into a community bonded by resilience. Jenna, once a symbol of the terror that had gripped the town, became a beacon of hope, her story a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. The legend of Art the Clown, while never forgotten, faded into the background, a dark chapter in the town's history that, though pivotal, no longer defined its present. Jenna continued her work, not just as a guardian against the darkness but as a builder of community, fostering a sense of unity and strength that transcended the events of that fateful night. The manor, once a symbol of malevolence, underwent a transformation of its own. Under Jenna's guidance, it was restored, not to its former glory, but as a monument to resilience. The estate became a community center, a place where people gathered to share stories, to learn, and to remember that together, they could face any darkness. As time passed, Jenna found peace. The nightmares that had once haunted her nights became less frequent, replaced by dreams of a future filled with light. She knew that the darkness might never be fully vanquished, that the threat of Art the Clown's return was a specter that might always linger on the edge of consciousness. But she also knew that she had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, and that knowledge gave her strength. The story of Jenna and Art the Clown became a legacy, a cautionary tale of the battle between light and darkness that exists in every heart, in every town. It was a reminder that while the night might be dark, the dawn always comes, bringing with it the promise of a new day. And so, the tale of Miles County, of Jenna and the malevolent Art the Clown, ends not with a whisper of fear but with a declaration of hope. For in the end, it is not the darkness that defines us, but how we choose to face it. Miles County, once a town ensnared by terror, stood as a beacon of that truth, a community that had looked into the abyss and chosen to light a candle, casting shadows aside to welcome the dawn. In the quiet moments, as the sun rose over the horizon, bathing the town in a golden glow, Jenna would often stand and watch, a silent witness to the beauty of a new beginning. The legacy of the past, both dark and light, was a part of her, of the town, but it was the future that held her gaze. The story of Miles County, of Jenna, and of Art the Clown, thus concludes on a note of hope, a reminder that even in the deepest darkness, there is light, waiting to be revealed. And in the hearts of those who believe, who fight, and who stand together, there is always the strength to turn the tide, to transform nightmares into dreams of a brighter tomorrow.